Hey there, I want to talk to you about Discover the Vision. That is, discover the vision, the values, the promises spoken over Pentecost Church, because some wonderful things have been spoken over this church in the past, and we're believing for those things into the future. But before I do that, I want to share a quick picture. It's a great and clear picture for us from the Word, from the Bible. We look at the children of God, and we can see that they had a clear vision or a clear promise from God. It was a promise first given to Abraham that his people would inherit the promised land. It went from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob and so on. It was something that didn't happen straight away, but it went through the generations. They carried that. And like a promise, we know that a promise isn't something that happens straight away. A promise is something that takes waiting. And we see that they had to wait throughout the generations. But if something comes in God's timing, then it's worth waiting for. The other side of the story is that, yes, they were disobedient. Yes, that they walked away from God at times, and that meant that they had to wait longer. You can go and read in Numbers 13 where Moses was led of God to send spies into the land to see what the land was like. God was saying He would give them the land, but just to go and see what it was like and to be of good courage. When the spies went in, they came back saying, "Oh, we're like grasshoppers to them. They're giants. We can't possess the land." And they completely lost sight that this was a promise from God for them. Who knows that God is a promise maker and a promise keeper? But they had lost sight of that, and so they found themselves waiting for longer. The great thing is that there was a remnant, that unfortunately another generation missed out on walking into the promised land, but there was a remnant, Joshua and those with Joshua, who God led into the promised land. And do you know that there was trust and there was unity when they went there and they believed that God would give them the victory? You can go and read the story. It's remarkable. It was a God-given victory, but it took them being willing to carry the vision, carry the promise, and live it out in their day. And really, that's what I want to talk about. As Pentecost Church, we have a great promise. We have a great vision. We have great values, but we must carry them in trust and in unity. You know, when we talk about the vision, I always say that we are a church that is life-changing through the Holy Spirit. That's our heart, to be life-changing through the Holy Spirit. I always come back to Acts 2, and God speaks to me through Acts 2 that when the Spirit came, things happened. When the Spirit came, church was birthed. When the Spirit came, people evangelized. There was fellowship. People were being discipled. When the Spirit came, things started to move. And I believe that for us today. Acts 2, Pentecost Church, that we carry this Pentecostal fire as a church. We value and we want to be faithful in having powerful evangelism, having powerful fellowship, and having powerful discipleship. I'll talk about that more in future videos. But this is who we are, life-changing through the Holy Spirit. That's the vision. Our values, that we would be having powerful evangelism, powerful fellowship, and powerful discipleship. But then there's the promises of God that He is faithful to, that we believe for. We've heard that God is going to send rapid growth for this church. Not that we make it, but that He is sending rapid growth for this church. That we would see God help us send fiery arrows, send missionaries, and build churches around the globe, across the globe. And we're believing for that, and we're thankful that we've already been able to see a lot happen in that front already, and that we'd see signs, miracles, and wonders. Again, that comes back to what God does, not what we do, but what God can do through our lives. And finally, a promised land, that one day we will receive a miracle church building that we did not have to pay for, but that we will be able to use, that we would be blessed with it. Many years ago, one of the pastors of the church got a word that we were to give all our money away, that we were to build what that had been saved up, to build churches overseas and to see churches built overseas, and that God would look after us. And do you know, we cannot walk away from that. As a church, we're in unity and trust with the Lord, that we have a vision to be life-changing through the Holy Spirit, that we have values to be powerful in evangelism, fellowship, and discipleship, and that we have these promises from God, one of those being our own church building. Do you know that we have seen many churches built overseas as we've just continued to release money to help people overseas? We've been faithful to that. I think we're over 16 churches that we've helped see developed overseas, and we're trusting to see more develop. But we trust God for that promised land. It's too hard. It's not that we're going to make it happen. No. It's that God, we can trust our God for what He's promised. Can I make an appeal to you? Can you carry this Pentecostal fire? Can you carry the vision and the values and the promises of this church? Would you just think about the church logo if you would, and every time you see that logo, thank the Lord for the vision, for the values and the promises of the church. Partner with us by carrying this Pentecostal fire. It's for us each to carry in trust and in unity in the Lord.